going to introduce everything and then decide. Live. Let me see if we're live. We are live. We are live, you guys. This is exciting. Yay. All right, let's get started. Let's keep our smiley faces on. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Conversations with Nia, Hot Topics. I'm super excited to hear you guys. This is the official second episode of Conversations with Nia here on YouTube, and all of my, viewers. I love you guys. I thank you for always watching. Just a little bit of an overview. If you guys wanna, appear as a guest on my show, for sponsorship, make sure you email niablackstudios@gmail.com. So a lot of you have been reaching out to me about all this stuff going on, right, in the world. Beyonce's Black is King and Joe Biden's running mate and what's happening to Ellen DeGeneres and hydroxychloroquine debate. People have been like, Nia, what's your opinion? Well, today I have this amazing group of people I call my co-host. So they're here today so we can really dissect all of this amazing topic. Unfortunately, one of my co-hosts is not here right now, Kia, but she is going to make it eventually. So we're just waiting on her to join. So you guys, if you want to go ahead and just introduce yourself, tell the viewers who you are, and then we can go right into all of the gory, juicy topics.
So I'll go ahead and start off. My name is HK Uzij. I'm a recent grad, just studying engineering, and did some psychology studies as well. I consider myself having an interest in African history, African culture, Black history, Black culture, and I'm just here to share my opinion, have fun, and hear what others have to say.
Awesome, thanks HK. And then we have Nettie, the very beautiful Nettie.
Hi guys, my name is Nettie. I guess I'm just here to entertain Nia.
Nettie, why are you being all?
Oh, Nia, I got you. I got you. Why are you being all? I know. I got real shy really quick.
We can have it in you. Stop being all quiet. Hello, Nettie, are you there? Can you hear me?
Hi. Okay. You ready for me, Nia?
Yeah. Okay. So just tell us a little bit. So you are a mom. I mean, that's exciting.
Yes, I'm a mother of three.
Oh my God.
I study marketing, PR. Day by day, I relate to them very well.
That's awesome.
The Queen G.
Look at you.
I mean, the Queen Gangsta Mama.
Look at you.
Yeah, I'm really engaged with my kids. I love them to death. I told you, I love them. They are my life right now. So, I study marketing, PR. I'm a Christian.
I mean, that's good. No, you're fine.
And I enjoy community engagement.
You're good.
Okay,
yeah. Don't put me on the spot. You're good. You're good. All right, let's go ahead.
I'm your co-host. I got you.
You are my co-host, girl. You better get it together. Come right. You gotta come right. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk about the first topic. So as you guys know, Beyonce just released a new film called Black is King, which is pretty much like a 1-hour video, like a compilation of all of her songs from the Lion King album, and she makes the video. She has all these beautiful visuals, showcasing African culture. It's beautiful, it's rich. I mean, I feel like what she's doing is just trying to make people just connect back to the African roots and know that African culture is just beautiful. And like she said, we're kings and queens. However, some people don't really like it. There's a lot of controversy about this video. Some Africans are saying that some African Americans are saying that Beyonce only had African actors in her video. They said, well, Africans did not suffer for 400 years of slavery. While Africans, on the other hand, are saying that Beyonce did not properly represent Africans. So I want to ask you guys, my co-hosts, what do you guys think? Is the film celebrating Black culture? Is it celebrating African culture? Or is it harmful to Africans? Give me your thoughts. What do you guys think? HK, you want to go ahead and go first?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take that question. I want to clarify that the name of the film is called Black is King. So there's sometimes Africans believe that they own black, but black is not just Africa.
Mm.
Black is, South America. Black is Southeast Asia. Black is America. So the topic of her film is Black is King, and you can see it in the representation that majority of it is Africa, but she's talking about the kingship that comes and with the history of black and how much we should own whatever it is that we do as we are kings. So the misrepresentation or whatever it is that it may be called, I don't think it's her culture appropriation. I don't think it's her misrepresenting Africa or anything about African American versus African. I think it's her just really showing how black is beautiful and the royalty that comes with being black, regardless of where you are on the continent.
That's amazing, HK. I like that you said that. Hey, you guys, those who are watching, if you have any comments, like please comment below. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your opinion. This is a community discussion, right? It's not just about me giving my opinion, HK giving his opinion, or Nettie giving her opinions. If you have any thoughts, if you want to contribute and add value to this conversation, definitely comment, and we're going to keep this going. HK, I have to agree with you, but what would you say about this comment about people saying this is like capitalism? Like she's making profit off of Africa. Beyonce claims right now to be doing this for Africa, for the motherland, connecting people to the motherland. However, she's making like 80 million pounds. And so in dollars, that's about $160 million from this movie. And then to show it on Disney, many Africans don't have Disney Plus. So how can you say you're doing this for the people, but your people are making? And this is not my opinion. I'm just saying what people are saying. So HK, what's your comment on that?
Well, we also have to look at the source of where this is coming from, this complaint, correct? And we have to ask the question, what is she doing for Africa? We cannot assume that she's profiting off of this, right? Who's the one who's funding these trips, these travels, and all that kind of stuff? If she's funding her travels, the shooting, and all that kind of stuff, she's spending money to make money. So it's almost like, is she breaking even? All these are assumptions, correct? So what is she saying in terms of like, is she giving back? What is she saying in terms of like, is she profiting off of it? She literally, from my perspective, from what I get from it, she's out here to be a beacon of lights to basically denounce all that's been told to us that black is not beautiful, that black is subpar. She's doing this as a way, and she said it as a way for her son to grow up in this society that you are a king, regardless of who you are, regardless of where you are. And she also made it in a way that it's not saying that she's benefiting just from Africa. She's talking about black all over the place, all over. So I can't really answer that to say that I'm Beyonce, but I don't think she's doing it for profit.
Nettie, what do you have to say about all of this? Are you for Beyonce? Are you for the Africans saying this is like capitalism? Are you for African? What do you think? I want to hear your thoughts.
I don't get the capitalism part, but I do believe in the empowerment aspect of it, right? So we have so many people. I mean, Beyonce is from Houston, right? She's from America. So we have so many people. I guess I'm not looking that deep into it. I'm looking at what I need from it. What I look at it from my part. I mean, from my what I needed, what I gained actually from watching those videos. And I felt like she was trying to empower Blacks and to basically say, hey, lose this image. This is what we need here. We are kings and we are queens. We need you to believe that. And it's just like instilling things in our children. We can't say, oh, you're stupid, you're dumb. Right? We have to say, hey, you're a king. You're not acting like a king right now. Things like the encourage or, things like that. So I don't think she was coming from a place of capitalism, because and everyone capitalized off of something. It's life, right? It's the economic
somehow. So
exactly. So I don't look that deep into it. I look at the roots. I think she wanted us to know about our roots and where we came from and appreciate it. Um, I believe that I mean, I have a daughter who's Nigerian, mixed Nigerian. It made me want to visit Nigeria, right? Or visit Africa, right? And so I believe that she's trying to empower us. We have the image of Cardi B all the time, right? We have the image of Megan Stallion. I'm not speaking against them, right? But at the same time, we need to know who we are. Like, we don't know. We lost our way. Somewhere along the line, we lost our way. And so now she's bringing it back to us. Hey, you are a queen. You are a king. You are beautiful. You're not in. They told you. What did she say? Like, they can't tell you who you are. You have to know who you are. But then she's also saying at the same time, hey, you're a king and you're a queen. And so I heard that actually for the first time, just not too long ago, maybe a few months back. One guy said, I'm a king. I hadn't heard that in years. I'm an American, so I in New Orleans, but I haven't heard that in years. And I was like, oh, you think of yourself as a king? And I was like, wow, it just wowed me. And it's crazy. He was like, you're a queen. And I was like, oh, I haven't been called a queen in a minute. So, I think she just was trying to empower us. Hey, we don't have to settle for less. We are kings and queens. This is what we do. We carry ourselves in royalty. So, it had me walking around the house. I'm queen and I'm king. My sons are kings now. Yeah.
No, and
I always tell my daughter.
No, I agree with you. Ned, if you want to just read your line because it's echoing.
Say it again.
So no, you're fine. So I do agree with what you're saying, right? She's empowering everybody with king and queen. But here's the argument that I read, and this was from an article on Essence magazine. He said she's like glorifying pre-colonial Africa as royal and filled with kings and queens, that it's very harmful because pre-colonial Africa was not a paradise. Not everyone was king and queen. Like some people, like I heard a girl said, some people were palm wine toppers. That's like the lowest of the lowest. Like some people were carpenters. So not all of us came from king and queens. So what do you have to say to that though? Like she's glorifying pre-colonial Africa and making it like it's really harmful for us because not everyone was like that. And if you say that Africa was all like king and queens and great, then it's like you're upholding that imperialistic ideals because a lot of kings and queens were really, really oppressive towards their people. That's what I read from Essence. You want to say something to that?
I would like to go ahead and address that. The topic of the movie is Black is King. Okay, I feel like everyone is, for some reason, everyone just see Black is and then they just go blind when they see King, right? So the topic of the discussion is royalty and how Black is royalty, correct? Never once in there or does she portray or does she say in the sense that she supports how imperialistic or whatever it is. We're talking simply about how Black is royalty and how there are different types of royalty. Okay, so the point of this is for us to show how we are tied to and how we are connected to something of value that was so valuable that it had to be corrupted and it had to be oppressed. And yet we still shine, and yes, we still come out on top. That's how valued of where we come from. So literally just reiterating, right, what we should already know. And this is not just pre-colonial, correct? A lot of these things is what some of them are still happens today. You see these houses, you see all these things that's going on there. She doesn't say it's just pre-colonial. She's talking about Africa as a whole and changing to perspective of what we consider quote unquote civilized or what we consider beautiful or what we consider normal. You look at the hairstyle, you look at the fashion, you look at the pride that people have. And to some people, they come and they say, okay, that doesn't look like New York or that looks ghetto. But it's not necessarily about the setting. It's about the pride that these people have. And also a quote unquote ghetto place, right, that's filled with riches. It's a different way and a different perspective of how we see royalty versus what we've been taught. That royalty has to come from a king, a queen, a castle. She's breaking down those barriers that they've given to us of what we should consider royalty and telling us that a lot of us do come from royalty is just not what the colonists have told us that we are precious.
Right. You know what? I am actually surprised by the overwhelming support for Beyonce right now on this platform because I thought people were going to come in and say, you know what? We do not agree with Beyonce. She is this. I literally thought that was going to happen. But it seems like all of you are like, you know what? It's fine. She's just glorifying us and she's just making us like, feel like powerful and that's good. So here are my thoughts. But before I say my thoughts, let me read some comments, right? A lot of comments I've been showing them have been coming through. So first, Cynthia said she made it available on different platforms on the continent, so not just Disney Plus, right? So I didn't even know that. I thought it was just like just Disney Plus. She has a contract with them. If you don't have Disney Plus, you're screwed. Like you have to wait to upload it on YouTube, whatever. And then Uche keeps saying, "I love Beyonce." Right? Cynthia goes ahead to say again. So I think Uche and Cynthia are just going back and forth in the comments, and I'm loving this, guys. Keep the comments rolling. All right. So Cynthia said, "Valid argument, but not with the BLK." Is that what she's saying? Is that it? Am I mistaken, Cynthia? Is that your comment? Oh, now with Black is King. Okay, the movie. So the movie is literally about a king. And so remember I made a comment that people were saying, well, not everyone in Africa are royals. Some are palm wine tappers, some are carpenters. Which I saying, well, even if they're that, they're still king, right? They're still a king of his own kingdom, even if he's not like, wealthy. That's good. Another comment from Cynthia, she says, the movie also addressed that by having various people define kingship during the interludes, e.g. building our communities up, being excellent in our careers, and giving back. You guys are like, okay with the comments, okay with the support for Beyonce. Now here is what I really think. You guys want to hear my thoughts or no?
Yeah.
Here's what I
can tap in one little thing.
Okay, yeah.
I think from an American standpoint, it doesn't matter where we are in life, right? So right. It doesn't matter where we are in life. We are still kings, queens. So we have to keep that in mind that we can be encouraged and keep going, right? And so I think, it doesn't matter where you are, what position you have, because when I met Africans in America, they consider themselves as kings, and I'm like, hold on, you're a king too? Oh, you're a king. Okay, we have several, but that's how they had to. That's how they accomplished themselves. That's how they went through life. Life is tough, right? So if I think that I'm a king everywhere I go, like I tell everyone I'm a king or I'm a queen everywhere I go, that's the mindset I have. So when I walk out my door, I carry myself as queen. Or when I go to school or whatever I do in life, I'm carrying myself. So that's their. That's the way they define themselves, right? Mm-hmm. And so I thought that was a sweet. It could have been someone cleaning the toilet. Hey, I'm a king, and I'm like, wow, but it's inspirational, right? And so it makes you want to be connected to those type of people who have that type of thought process, right?
That's amazing. No, I agree with you. Okay, educate. Yeah, go for it, please.
I would like to add something else. I love the show Black is King, but before watching, I had my skepticisms, of the whole thing of, okay, is it misappropriation, cultural appropriation, correct? Is it misrepresentation? What is it? And the point of which I changed that mentality was, as someone who is very prideful of his country, who loves it, who's lived there for a little bit,
right?
Feel like he has a love towards the history of it. Even I, watching the show, knowing where I came from, was awestruck about how Black is royalty and Black is beautiful. Point, I realized this is not just for African Americans or people who are not African. This is for everybody to one, educate or to remind us about the beauty of not just Black people, the beauty of what it is that they've done, how it is that they live, these quote unquote uncivilized ways of living, how there's beauty and there's intelligence, there's meaning to what they've been doing, to all the things. It's not just that colonizers came in and taught us how to do everything right. No, there was a way of doing things, and it made sense, and it in itself was a kingdom, even though it didn't have to look like a castle.
Mm-hmm. And that's a very valid point. Thanks for saying that. So here's what I really think. And I think someone said this so beautifully. Beyonce is a generational shifter. Like she knows how to shift people's perspective with visuals. What is the best way to influence people is through what you see, right? And Beyonce has mastered the art of creativity and inspiring people through what you see, the visuals, the dance, everything. Like you said, Nettie, sorry, she inspires you to want to feel like you're a queen, you're royalty. Even from her song, Brown Skin Girl, you listen, you're like, wow, I am brown skin and I love the fact that I'm brown skin, I'm beautiful. And that's okay. So now I guess my thing is, to be honest, I'm going to be very transparent. I'm a very, very strong Christian. For those who follow me on Instagram, you can tell, Nettie, you can tell I am like really, really strong Christian. But now my thing is, there's this argument out there from a lot of Christians saying it's too focused on African spirituality. Right, she makes, especially in the song Black Parade, which was released like early on during like the whole protest for George Floyd. She made references to some ancestral beings and spiritual African beings and some deities and stuff like that. And being a Nigerian, so let me just be specific. She made references to Oshun like a goddess and a god, Orisha and stuff like that. And being an African, like a Nigerian to be specific, I am very familiar with this spiritual African spirituality and deities. And guess what? You don't mess with those stuff. Like you don't, right? I grew up in an environment where you see the shrine and people are doing voodoo and it's like very satanic and demonic. And so you don't mess with that stuff. So that's the part that kind of irked me. I was like, wait a minute, like, as a strong Christian though, like Beyonce, I know you say you love God, but what is this? This is kind of a conflicting message. And someone on Instagram said something so beautifully. She's like, as a Christian, you don't want to get forced into that because that we don't, honestly, Africans, Nigerians, we don't mess with that spirituality stuff. We don't mess with it. If you believe in God, you separate all the goddess and deity. And if you notice, like all through the film, she dressed like every single god and goddess. Like there's a picture, and I'm going to send it to you guys. There's a picture where she literally is dressed like them. So it's almost like, okay, Beyonce, what message are you sending? And that's honestly how I feel. So it's a little conflicting. I think that she's powerful. I think that she's a generational shifter. I think that she's mastered the art of creativity. We cannot expect Beyonce to solve all of Black issues. And I think honestly that she has a huge heart for Black people. She really does. She really wants to build and to bridge this gap between African Americans and Africans. Feel like for African Americans, she wants you to feel like you're part of the motherland. You're part of something so great. Don't feel oppressed by what white people say, by white privilege. You come from great roots, and that is true. But then the spirituality aspect of it makes me really question what her intent is. I actually want to hear from Cynthia. Cynthia, you're in the comment section. And then Lena, I know you're logged on, but you're not part of the panel. Do you want to say something about this, or you're good? If you're not, I can add you. You want to say, okay, I'll add you so you can say, Lena, we have someone, she's a viewer, but she's logged on. Lena, you got any thoughts on this? What do you want to say?
Yeah.
What do you want to add to it? We're waiting for your comments.
Exactly.
Can she hear us? I don't know if she can hear. I don't think she can hear us. I'm gonna take it. I don't think she can hear us. Okay, but Cynthia, if you want to add to this, I definitely want to hear from you. But to my co-host, though, what you guys think about the whole spirituality interview? That actually scared me a little bit.
Yeah, it tripped me up too because I was like, oh my God, what is she doing? Now, I don't know anything about, but I know one thing I know, I've never heard that, right? And so I attend like a primarily Nigerian church, right? And so it's like, I was like, what is she doing and what is she saying? But this is another thing. So if you invited me to your country, right? And you say, hey, come with me, right? And you only tell me the parts that you feel like that sticks out to you. I mean, she doesn't know the full Nigerian or African experience. Whoever taught her, I feel like gave her that information. I feel like whoever taught her gave her that information. I mean, she's American, right? So I know how we think, right? So you gave me that information. Like whatever you tell me, I'm gonna believe you, right? I'm gonna believe what you're telling me. So maybe she's calling out those things unknowingly, not knowing that she's calling spirits or doing doing something that is not of God or not related, not a Christian move. You understand? So I don't think that I think she's misunderstood. I don't think she understood fully what she was doing. I don't believe that she did.
Really, I have to disagree
I
with
can't.
you. I have to disagree with you, Nettie, because I feel like Beyonce is someone who takes her craft very seriously and she studies. Like Beyonce is like works hard. Like every detail is perfected. Like she's very intentional about everything. But I do want to read Cynthia's comment. Cynthia said, if anything, more of us Africans should question why we see our own spiritualities as inherently demonic versus what was drilled into us, aka modern Christianity. Okay, girl, look at you. Okay, Cynthia. Okay, Cynthia, educator, you want to talk about that? Okay.
Yeah, I would like to go ahead and piggyback a little bit off of what Cynthia said. Before that, I would also like to state, how can we talk about royalty without talking about deity? Every sector in every sector of history.
I guess right? I would say to that, but yeah, I'm listening.
Royalty is the second line after deity. So that royalty is the king, and after the king is the God, whichever God you choose to believe in, right? So sometimes royalty can be seen as a god. So you cannot talk about king and royalty without, in some sense or fashion, talk about some sort of deity. Now, I can't say that for certain that that's what Beyonce did because she never once said it on there. And I'm guessing, people are reading into it, and that might be true. But I also want to state the modern Christianity, kind of like Cynthia stated, the Christianity that came with colonization, right? In order for one to bring in a new mentality and to shift people away from the old, they have to demonize the previous, correct? So I think one thing that we need to question is not, because I'm a very strong Christian, right? One thing that we need to question is that the way that we used to do things, right, is who's to say, because we're not the ones who told the story of the demonized in terms of colonization and how we used to do, is the people who pillaged, the people who changed history, the people who took away what it is that they wrote the history of what it is that we were doing, correct? So we are essentially reading our history of what we believe from people who have changed our beliefs. And to say this, there's a little bit of unchristianity, or there's a little bit of something that doesn't fit in a religion in every sector. Muslim, there are people who practice things that's not necessarily by the book. So the question is, if that's how we were doing things in terms of Christianity, what we believe, by the same book, we should judge Christianity nowadays. There are things that Christians still do that is not by the book. So are you telling me that we should cancel all of Christianity and then redo the whole thing? No, that's something that we need to ask ourselves. I'm not saying one is right or one is wrong. If you're questioning that, you also need to question other things.
Awesome. Okay. Nettie, do you want to add to that, or you're good?
I am good, but I think I don't think it was intentional. I don't think it was to because I believe that she is a Christian. I think she cried out to God on one of the songs or whatever. But I can't believe that I think she just wants us to know that there's rituals in the culture, and it's exciting to her if she's just introduced to it. Like, it's exciting. So I don't see it like she was, but I understand we need to educate Beyonce on it, right? And I mean, maybe you guys can educate me on that, right? Because I mean, I didn't see. It was a little weird but I think that she was just trying to bring more emphasis to it, like be a little more dramatic, right, and bring a little more drama to it. I didn't see it as a personal thing, but I get what you're saying, though. I get what both of you guys are saying.
Okay, well, awesome. All right, so I'm going to read some comments, then we're going to move to the next topic for today. So, sorry if I don't pronounce your name correctly. I sincerely appreciate. I love all my viewers and I respect you guys. You guys make Nia Black Studios what it is. You make Conversations with Nia what it is. So, Mwangala Diwali said, yes, I agree. We are all queens and kings, regardless of our upbringing or wealth. And then Uche also said, some dark-skinned people used to think that they're ugly because of their skin, but people like Beyonce have helped them build their self-confidence. And this is like leading back to the earlier comments that we made. So now Lena responded in a private chat. I'm going to read what she said. She said, I think Beyonce was trying to inspire Black people I think Beyonce was trying to inspire Black people to know who you are and learn more of the culture in which we came from. And I think that we can all agree on that. We can definitely all agree on that. Any final comment before we move to the second topic for today? No, no. All right, let's go. Let's go. We're on a roll here. We're on a roll. All right. So the next topic is Dr. Stella Emanuel and COVID-19 hydroxychloroquine. Did you guys hear about that? Oh my God. So let me tell you guys. Let me tell you the story, the tea. All right. Okay. So last week, there was a press conference with a couple of doctors. I think about 14 doctors, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys. And so one of the doctors really went viral. Her name is Dr. Stella Emanuel. Again, if I'm not correct, correct me. Comment. She is of Cameroonian descent, but she worked in Nigeria. She claims that she's used hydroxychloroquine to treat people for malaria, and she is a doctor here in America. So she comes up and she talks about how she's used hydroxychloroquine, she's used zinc and Zithromax to treat people with COVID-19. She said she's had over 300 to 400 patients and they're completely cured from COVID-19. She said all she had to do is administer it early on when they first had it, and now none of her patients died. She's like, you don't even need to wear a mask. Just, be on hydroxychloroquine and you'll be fine as long as you take it early. Now, that made a lot of people go crazy. Like the medical community went rampant. People were disagreeing with her. I mean, Facebook took all of the posts down. Instagram did the same. Twitter did the same. Eric Trump actually posted the video on his Twitter page. Twitter blocked it and took it down, put him on restriction. You guys, how are we feeling about this lady? Just a disclaimer, we're not medical professionals. I am not a doctor. I did study global health. But I have a sister that's a pharmacist. My other sister is a nurse practitioner, which is almost like a doctor. We are not professionals. We're just giving our own opinions as responsible citizens who care about curing COVID-19. So what do you guys think about all of this?
So I would state that let us acknowledge, we're all here, no Nigerians are Nigerian. And as stated before, Nia, that we are very spiritual. Believe a lot in what happens in the spiritual world, and we tie it to, things that are going on in modern day. And that can be a good thing or a bad thing, based on the perspective that you want to look at it. So you look at this doctor, and I don't know specifically her credentials, but she believes very much that it's more of a spiritual illness than it is really physical illness.
Really?
So if you believe it, the way from a lot of her following, she's very spiritual in what she believes and in curing things and healing things. So if a lot of your following and a lot of what you believe is based on the spiritual aspect, then I don't know how much it is that I would want to take your advice, being a patient in the waiting room, expecting you to give me physical medication, that it will, pan out the way it is that you say is going to pan out. So it makes me question her results.
Okay. What about you, Nettie? What do you think about that? I made a comment about it on my Instagram, and people were coming for me. People were sending me messages. So even Nettie sent me a message. Yeah. So Nettie, I want to hear from you. What you think, girl?
Yes. So like you said, from an African standpoint, or from American looking at watching I'm African, they're very expressive, right? And so everybody wanted to make her seem like this psychotic woman. I believe that everyone has a right to whatever physician they want to go to. You have the right to not go to her. And you basically trust. Hold on, I'm getting a little nervous because this really touched me, because I hated the way I did not like the way they made her look. Like she was psychotic or she was going crazy. This medication have been around since 1955. They have been using it. I read that they were using it when it first started, and even the president said that he uses it. So I think they want to hush her up. It's scary. It's a scary topic, because it's government. Government doesn't make any money. It's money. It's money linked to it. And it's just a scary topic, because for her, what did she say? And you can hear her fear. What did she say? I don't care if they kill me. I mean, how could you even think, right? How do you think of them want to take your medical license because you said that, because you as a doctor, a professional, treated your patients and this medication was effective for you? Like, how could you ever, how could someone question her? Right? Because she is a physician. You choose to go to whatever doctor you want to.
Exactly.
And it kind of hurt me because they were respectful to her. Because it wasn't just her, it was a number of doctors, and maybe they were not government paid doctors, right? And so, like we say, if our boss say, hey, this is you have to do this, you have to do that. She kind of got to play by the rules. But if she's a private physician, really play by their rules, right? Government rules. And they did you hear about them letting what is it called? They took it off the market. Did you hear about them taking the medication off the market?
Oh,
because
really?
she spoke on it?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I know that it's an experimental.
I think that she's delusional.
I know that it's an experimental.
Yeah, they said.
Yeah. So I think Nettie, you do make a good point. I think for me, and Educate, you do make a fantastic point as well. Everybody has different opinions. I'm not gonna go against it. Of course, I have my opinion, despite the fact that I'm trying to be very less opinionated, for lack of better words. But I do agree with Nettie. I feel like if you don't agree with her, that's fine. You don't have to agree with everybody. If you want her to show, if you want her to show whatever, what is it, like proof, whatever, like that's on you. But you don't have to bash her though. Like, why is cancel culture so toxic? Why do we always have to wage some kind of social war against everybody? And I know that it's life or death, and I get it. But then again, people are saying this, if you take this medication, it's a death sentence. I'm like, it's not. I am Nigerian. I've said it 100 times, Education. You can relate to me. And I grew up taking this medication. Nettie, you also saw my post. I grew up taking hydroxychloroquine for malaria. I'm not dead.
Yeah.
If you are African, you have taken hydroxychloroquine at some point in your life to cure malaria if you're back home in Africa, to be honest. And it doesn't kill. It has very tough side effects. They have to watch you. But a lot of other medications have side effects. A few months ago, I had pneumonia, and my doctor prescribed levofloxacin for me. Now, I went on and read a lot of the side effects. Girl, it can make you paralyzed. Your nerves can be damaged. You can even die from it, right? I was like, I'm not going to take that. But these are drugs that they administer so freely to people. So why are you guys going to make hydroxychloroquine? So why are you guys going to make it seem like hydroxychloroquine is like a demon or it's like death? And like you said, they kept dragging her. CNN kept saying, oh, like she's a woman who believes that demons can impregnate somebody from her preaching at church. Like, calm down. It's not that serious. If you don't agree with her opinion,
it is.
Class, just go away. It's okay. You don't have to think it. You don't have to go to a clinic. Okay, I want to hear you have something to say.
Yes, I have something to say. Let us not be oblivious to the good and bad of PR, of going public with these things, right? We can't say we want the benefit of one, but then we don't want the disadvantages that comes to it. So regardless of whether or not she's right or wrong, all I'm hearing is that, why is this happening to her? All that kind of stuff. The same level of bashing that comes with Trump when he says something outrageous is the same level of bashing that's going to come with anyone else we think, based on perspective, is outrageous. So whether or not she's right or wrong, the perspective of people thinking that she's outrageous is going to come with bashing. Now, if you're presenting a truth that most people don't agree with, or if you're presenting a truth that most people have not thought about, they automatically think is outrageous. There's going to come bashing with it. It's just, that's the internet. That's the world that we live in. We go to the whole thing of, the entanglements, right? People will take whatever they want to take and do whatever it is that they want to do. So you have to understand all the things that come with what it is that you're doing, with what it is that you're saying online, with whatever you're saying that the whole world is seeing. So to me, I don't feel sorry. You should have known there was a possibility of what would have happened. Like, that's just the reality of it. you could have changed lives. There could have been a riot and people like, oh yeah, this will happen. But at the same time, it could have gone south. And this is just one of those times that it went south. So I'm very impartial to it. All I'm trying to say is that people need to understand the source of where they're getting the information and what they're relying on, and really research what it is that she done. And just like the way that we have, just like the way that we do extensive research into people that we doubt, someone did extensive research into whatever she did or whatever she said about, you know, demons and whatnot. That just comes with being in the public.
So here's the thing, and I agree with you, right? Like once you're in the public, yeah, you're gonna get scrutinized, whoever you are. I mean, Obama was, Trump goes through it every day, like he goes through the hate. I get it. Let me read Cynthia's comment, and I will comment on that HK. So Cynthia said, and I did show it earlier. It said, Madam Doctor also believes you can pray COVID-19 away, which is fine. You're allowed to believe, but okay, pick one, science or spirituality. And honestly, I believe that we should combine science and spirituality, but that's a whole different argument, right? That's what I believe in. Here's the thing. I hear you, Edith, what you're saying, that we need to stop being too forgiving, you know, and too like what we're saying is, oh, people are bashing her. But I have, and this is a very unpopular opinion, but when I posted that comment on my Instagram yesterday, a lot of people reached out to me and were like, oh my gosh, she's actually right. Like, you know, my doctor said, yes, if you take it early on, it can actually help you. And not just hydroxychloroquine by itself, right? With zinc and Zitromax, if I'm pronouncing the name correctly. Yeah, Zitromax. So, like I said, I have medical professionals at home, and so many people have actually said, yes, if it's administered early, it can work. But here's the catch. It's not for everybody, right? It's not a one-size-fits-all for everybody. It could work for you, Nadi, but it might not work for Nia. It could work for Educate, but it might not work for Cynthia. It might work for Lena. It's like it's not a one-size-fits-all. That is why it's called an experimental drug. It could work for some people and not for others. I think what the medical community is really angry about is the fact that she only tested, like 300 to 400 patients, and she's making it seem like, oh, that's for the general public. You know, like one key thing you should not do in the medical society is overgeneralize. You have to be very, very specific. Like this is 400 people compared to the millions of people in America. So I do understand where they're coming from, because America and the medical community is very data-based. So I understand that. But to be honest, a lot of people have said it can work for you depending on the person, depending on the patient, and depending on if it was administered early. Nadia, I feel like you want to say something to that.
No, I heard the same thing. And you know, I'm spiritual, so I get where she's coming from with the demons. And I mean, we call people demons, right? Instead of calling the person who they are, she may be referring to one of the doctors. You understand what I'm saying? So she's, I mean, I understand her from a spiritual standpoint. I know, but like you said, we should, I don't know. I feel like you have a choice. And you have a choice to choose what doctor you want to go to in America. We have that right. And but I trust her. We may have treated 400 patients, and maybe 50 of them, didn't make it, right? And 300 made it, right? I mean, 350, am I right?
Right.
So, I mean, the majority rule, right? So, I mean, I'm not just taking it as, I'm feeling sorry for her. This lady knows, she knows, apparently she knows something. She was very passionate about it. And I think in France, one of the prime ministers somewhere in France, they're taking it and they're swearing by it. I mean, like you said, it doesn't work for all, but we just need to make sure that we are, I mean, I don't know, I'm a Christian, so we pray everything away. So we kind of pray through a lot, through everything. So I trust God, right? So I have to, medicine, I don't trust. Like man, I don't trust, right? I trust God. I believe in him. So at the end of the day, I mean, anyone can say what they want. I trust that doctor though. I would go to her. I would definitely choose her as a physician, because she was very passionate about saving lives.
You're so bold with it. Not everyone is as bold as you are.
I mean, I've been around them. she was expressive. That's all. She was just passionate about it, I feel.
And I have to agree with you. And Ejike, I'll let you go afterwards. I feel like a lot of people focus too much on her delivery, right? The way she spoke, and not so much so the content, even, I think. And a lot of people were like, oh, like, she was very like reckless with her words, she didn't care. And even how she felt like she was also attacking the medical community, say, come from me, I don't care. All you fake doctors. So I guess people were more hurt by what she said and the approach, and not so much of what she was saying. But Ejike, I do want to hear what you have to say.
I would like to say two things. For someone who studies science and engineering, data is important. If you're going to make a decision, if you're going to make a claim like that, the data has to support it, especially in something that is such a touchy subject, something that people already feel like they're being lied to. If you're coming out without data, you're the next target of where they're going to give their frustration and anger. So you're taking a subject that people are already uncertain about, and you're making a claim that it's not backed with data, which is already happening, or people feel that it's happening. I'm sorry. That to me is 1 + 1 = 2. What did you think was going to happen, right?
Well, like sometimes like data are falsified. Like
no, of course, by no means am I saying that data is not falsified. I'm just talking about just the approach to it. I'm not saying, I don't know if she's right or wrong. I've never been in a situation to test it, but you have to understand what would have come of the situation whenever you presented it. 300 to 400 is not enough for you to tell the American public, millions of people, that this is the sure solution. And also, as stated by both of you guys, it is one that could work for someone and could not work for someone. If you went into the hospital, right, and they told you this surgery could work for you, but could not work for you, do you want to do it? What would you say?
I feel like if it's like, I think a lot of people are in that position. Especially when it comes to cancer or some extremely deadly. The doctor to tell you this is experimental. You have a 50% chance of it working and a 50% chance of it not working. And a lot of people would actually try it because you're going through life or death right there.
But what do they give you? They give you a percentage that it will work, correct? Based on how many times it's been done in past. If you were to look at the percentage that it has quote unquote worked of the 400 versus the millions, percentage wise, that is not 50%, even 10%. So if someone went to you and then you asked them, what is the chances that this has worked based on what has been done? You're looking at 300 compared to millions. That's a 0.000. You don't know. So you, as a logical person, you'd be like, no, I don't want to take that chance. And also, let us address this whole thing of spirituality, right? I think that science and spirituality can coexist. Now, to the level of which they can coexist, that's debatable. But the problems that has happened, and I'll go to Nigeria because I know Nigeria, is the false sense of spirituality. The pastor says, go outside, eat grass, you're going to be cured of cancer. And then automatically, because the pastor's talking to God, they're going to go outside and do it. The Bible tells us to educate ourselves, right? You have to understand that you don't just follow blindly. You just don't follow spirituality blindly. He gave us our brains to think. And because of our brain, he also gave us science, because that's just, those are part of what it means to be on earth. This is part of what it means to live. So don't just, I'm going to pray it away. Yes, prayer without works is null and void. So let us not just say, I would advise that for someone who's bringing that, I understand spirituality. I'm a very spiritual person, right? But the amount of people that are wanting an answer, that are hungry and thirsty for a cure, might just end up doing exactly what you said because of the way you're saying it. And then that could be deaths that are on your hand that you didn't intend to, because this wasn't geared for them. So to me, it's not a matter of right or wrong. It's a matter of do you know the weight of what it is that you're saying and the potential catastrophe that could come with you not having enough data to back up what your decision.
Good point. So I do want to read some comments right now. So Candice, and I showed this comment earlier. Candice Richards said, whether she is right or wrong, I think the issue is that Americans have a certain perception of what credible sounds like or looks like. Would the reaction be different if the delivery was different? I think Nettie and I spoke a lot about this. So Cynthia said, yes, it's not a one size fits all. In the same way, the drug typically in the same way the drug typically works for malaria. And I wish more people realize that before wholeheartedly believing in experimental drugs, right? So one guy said some people who criticized her did not even watch the video. They didn't even bother understanding. Rather, they picked up when she said things like, "We don't need masks," and was like ran with it, which I agree. She also said she should have made a disclaimer rather than saying it's a solution for sure when it's not. I think that's the issue. Yeah. So this is my sister. Hi, Linda Rose. So she says, AJ, remember she said all the COVID patients she has treated, all her patients, not all Americans, all her patients, she did not do any control trials to compare. She said all her own patients. And remember, I think, Linda, you didn't finish your comment. So AJ, what do you want to say? Because Linda directed that to you. She's like, remember she said all her patients, she's not saying all of Americans. She said my patients were cured. She focused on her own experiment, like what she did and her own success.
And to me, that makes it more questionable, right? So if you have a theory in science, it's only believed when people have tested it multiple times to prove it to be true, right? So, you talk about stuff like the law of gravity, all that kind of stuff. Once people have tested it numerous times, right? At that point is when people are like, okay, this is enough to go out to the mass of the public. Just like testing any drug, you have to test it multiple times. So the fact that it's been tested and been proven only on her patients and no one else is what also makes it questionable for me. Correct?
I don't think it's just only hers. I feel like a lot of doctors and I feel like a lot of doctors have come out and said it actually works. And remember, there were 13 other doctors at the press conference with her who agreed with her, but hers was picked up. And many other people have come forward and said it could work. So it's not just hers, but people tend to focus on her.
No, I'm simply saying what she stated.
Okay.
She only stated that that the people that she cured were from her patients. I'm going off of what she stated. We're talking about her and her statement and what she's made.
Nettie, you can
the president also, from the beginning of COVID, the president also stated that he, in the beginning of COVID, take what is it, whatever. But yeah, he stated that he takes it regularly. Yeah, so he said that he takes it regularly. So
come on. Let's look at
the only thing is, I think that she was a little.
You say you.
I mean, not just the president. There's other doctors. So we can't just say her, right? There's other doctors. Yes. There's other physicians who speak highly of this message.
We need to, and all I'm trying to say is it's not a matter of fact of who's right and who's wrong. It, to me, simply from a science standpoint, is data. I will not put my life on the line if 20 of 578, whatever it is, doctors, right, said this is approved. Now, people can go into the whole thing of like, okay, is this a conspiracy theory, whatnot? Mm-hmm. In terms of percentage and people who have said it's worked and who said it hasn't worked, I don't know. I personally will put my line if 13 doctors out of all the doctors in America said this is proven to work, and if the president said that it has worked. Let us look at other things the president has said. So the president also said that if you drank bleach, right?
Oh my God. I think you hold the views of a lot of people. And to be honest, we're never going to agree on this. Like, there's always going to be people who are for her and who agree with her. And there's always going to be like a larger community who's like against it. So I do hear you, but you do make an excellent point.
I'm not against it. I'm said bring more credible data.
Okay.
Put your claim, and then we can talk.
Okay. All right. So before we move forward to the next topic, I'm just going to say what I do admire about her is her fearlessness. This lady does not play and she don't care, right? I do like that about her. If I can get like some of that fearlessness and confidence, girl, I'll be good to go. All right. So the next topic, we got to real quick because we're already in an hour. I want us to get through this really quickly. The next topic is Joe Biden. he said he's going to announce his running mate this week, but I just read the news and he said he pushed it back to next week. So how are we feeling about this election? Who do we think is going to be Joe Biden's running mate? Is that going to help the election? Is that going to help him win? What are we thinking about this?
I don't know. That's I'm not as educated on this topic, if I'm to be transparent.
Okay.
But to me, it's either between Kamala Harris,
okay,
or Stacey Abrams.
Oh, okay.
And I think in that sense, he knows that he needs the support of Black people.
Right. That's the thing.
So whichever way to make them feel comfortable, I think it's a very important decision that he's gonna have to think about whenever picking the person to run with him.
I saw a lot of names have been thrown out, and I do agree with you, HK. A lot of names have been thrown out, like Susan Rice, Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, and like you said, Stacey Abrams. And I think that he does want to win the Black vote, and he definitely want to appeal to women. So he's for sure going to pick a woman, and I think he's for sure going to pick an African American woman, to be honest. So I think, like you said, it's going to be the Kamala Harris or Stacey Abrams. But to be honest and very transparent, you guys, and for those watching, I'm not as excited about this election, to be honest. I'm not even paying attention to it. It just seems so dry. Like, I know a lot of people want Trump out the door, but it's just like, I don't have that Obama effect we had in 2008. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, the Democratic candidates, I love Joe Biden as a person. He served well with Obama, but I'm not excited. And I feel like in the beginning, all this top gun came out. Kamala Harris came out, and Elizabeth Warren, and all these people came out, and suddenly it just kind of fizzled out. So I'm not excited about it. I really don't know who he's going to choose, but I know it's going to be a woman, and it's going to be African American because he's trying to be very strategic. Nettie, what do you think?
So I spoke with one of my friends. I like Stacey. I like her. I just think that she's so sweet and things like that. But he was like, she's gonna run the United States. What are you talking about, sweet?
Yeah.
And so, but he also educated me on Kamala Harris. So I was all for her. Then he told me that she was the one of the DAs who put the majority of African Americans males in jail. So like she was like, I think he said 60%, something like that. So I kind of feel some type of way towards her right now because, our Black men are already going through things. Like, so I mean, if you're not coming from a place of understanding and you're just coming from what you want, I don't know about Kamala. But I am. I guess I'm a woman, so I'm thinking for rooting for Stacey. If one of my friends told me Susan Rice, because she's a politician and she knows the game or whatever. But I believe what is this lady? What's the white lady? Caucasian.
Elizabeth Warren.
What is her name? Elizabeth Warren. I kind of believe he may choose her. I don't know because I think they have more of a connection.
Okay.
Yeah. It's. I mean.
Okay.
I'm just.
You know what? Like,
if I look at their views.
Now that I think about it,
their views are aligned
with your point, Nettie. Now that I think about it, I do agree that he might go with Stacey Abrams because Kamala Harris is a little controversial, and this is why she lost a lot of points because of the incarceration issue. So now that I think about it, and thanks for bringing that up, Nettie, I think that he might. I mean, he has to think about everything. He might actually go for Stacey Abrams. But we have some comments. Cynthia said, and I put this up earlier. She said, "Yeah, oh no, this was not the comment." She said Stacey Abrams should be the most logical option, but Kamala is more viable. She also said, yeah, this year's election option started off so well, then ended up so dull. Exactly. It lost something to me. Just fizzled out. And then Steven said, and this is my in-law, my sister's husband, representing, supporting me. He said, I will put my money on Kamala Harris to be his running mate. He needs the Black community vote, and he needs to do something to make them come out and vote. And that's the thing. So we agree it's going to be an African-American woman, to be honest. I have to disagree with you on that, Nadia. I don't think it's going to be Elizabeth Warren. I think it's going to be an African-American woman, but the question is, who is it going to be? But good point. AJ, do you have any final thoughts before I move on to the last topic? No, all right. Yeah, this year's election. You know what I'm excited? Let me say this, you guys. I want to hear even from the comments. What I'm excited about is Kanye. I'm excited. Like I'm not excited that I'm gonna vote for him. No, like that's what's making this kind of interesting. So he's officially an independent candidate. He just picked his running mate. Did you guys hear about her? What was her name again? Michelle Tidball. He's apparently a religious life coach. So he's going for it, you guys. What do you guys think about that?
I plead the fifth.
Okay, Nia. What, Nia? What? What? Who?
All right, let's move on.
Nia.
All right, the last topic. This has been such a pleasure. The last topic is about Ellen DeGeneres. You guys heard about she's been in a lot of hot soup lately. There's been claims about poor treatment in the environment, in the work environment. People are coming out talking about how there's racism in the workplace. I just heard 2 days ago that people are accusing the top executive for sexual misconduct and harassment. Nobody's accusing Ellen directly. It's just claims of the environment and the workplace. Now, Ellen is actually thinking about taking down her show, closing it out. And actually, I read something today that said it might resume next week. It's a little confusing. We don't know what's going to happen. But I know that a lot of celebrities right now have their eyes on the prize. Like Wally talked about probably being the next host and wearing a Nigerian outfit to do it. Like a lot of people are talking about it. So what do we think? I think this whole racism and protest is bringing out a lot of stuff. And I was shocked. I was like, Ellen? Like this is, you just never think she represents positivity and fun and laughter. So this was really shocking for me to hear. What do you guys think?
That's from my neck of the woods. So go.
Nettie, you can go ahead. Nettie, you started. It's fine.
Okay. So she's from my neck of the woods. So she's from New Orleans. Well, Battery, we call it New Orleans, right? And so I hear that, I mean, everywhere you go, there's racism. I think she should take a break though, right now. Like I think she should take a break. She's done her part. She's served her purpose, right? I love her, right? I love watching her. She's entertaining. She's done a lot for the community, right? And so, I mean, a lot of executives a lot of like they don't know what's going on underneath them, right? So to put that on her like that, there's, like you said, it's not directly to her, but we need to also know who we're working with, right? And and we need to have an open door policy, right? Where anyone can come to us, and and we should, we have to know who we're working with, period. We sometimes we can see it, but we kind of turn a blind eye. But I believe that she may have felt it, but no one may have her. And maybe she should take a break, go out the country, relax, enjoy her life. She has done her part. She has served her purpose. And now it's time for her to just enjoy it. Everywhere you go, there's something. Every company you go to, there's something, but I guess, they're using this to, I don't want to be insensitive, but, I guess they're using this opportunity to speak up on it, but we don't have to work for her, right? Like Master P said, you don't have to work. You go and open up your own shop. You go do your own thing, like Nia's doing, right? You got her own show, right? Nia, next Ellen DeGeneres, right? But we don't have to, like, you don't have to work for me. You don't. So, I feel like, that's I get emotional about that because I like Ellen. Right. But I feel like everywhere you go, there's an issue. Everywhere you go, there's an issue, So you have to know whether you're going to put up with it, be able to handle it or what. Right?
I agree with you, Nettie. I think for me, and before you speak, I think there's always a disconnect between what's happening in the environment and the person at the forefront. So I feel like Ellen might be oblivious to what's happening, on the inside, the back end. And so I don't know, because there's always a disconnect. I feel like someone who's at the forefront, who we see, doesn't really know what's going on. And she should put more effort to know it. But I do agree with you, Nettie, in the sense that maybe she needs to take a break. Like Ellen has been on air for a long time, so maybe she needs to take a break. Maybe it's time for her to rest. That might be it. Maybe she's ready to rest. To be honest, I don't know. But HK, what you have to say?
I would state that anything racial or anything uh, uh, abusive is a very touchy subject, especially nowadays in the society that we live in, especially with the whole Black Lives Matter and things of that sort. To me, I can't really say if she's to take a break or continue going, but I like that she's already started implementing some changes.
Yes.
I don't know if it's changes based on the public finding out or it changes because she generally feels like that's what needs to happen, but it is happening, correct? And stated is you don't have to work for her. You can go do your own thing. You don't have to be there. I'm very against bullies. And the bad side of it is, as someone who owns a company, you are responsible for the people that you hire, that you let them do. So do understand that there is going to be some backlash from your audience. People are not going to follow you. So if you do decide to continue, you have something to prove to the audience, and not necessarily because that's what you signed up for. That's just the name of the game. Your company is empowered and is made rich by audience whenever they're dissatisfied, right? For you to continue doing what you're doing, you have to satisfy them. So understand that there are going to need to be some big change, not just what she think is the big change, but what people feel needs to be changed. So if by looking at that and looking at what needs to be changed, if she's not satisfied with what people are asking her to do, then I think it's better for her to now go ahead and take a break and do what she needs to do, enjoy her life. But
Exactly.
that's what she needs to just decide: is it going to be worth the risk of what people are asking her to do or asking her to change?
Exactly. At the end of the day, like I said, and I agree with you guys, thank you for sharing your opinions. Maybe it's time for Ellen to take a break. Maybe she needs to rest it out. Go on a vacation. She's made her money. You never know. But I do want to reiterate what you guys said. You can go. You don't have to work for someone or in a space where you feel like you're oppressed or undervalued or maltreated. You can always go start your own thing. A lot of Black women right now are being entrepreneurs and starting and doing their own thing. So you can totally do that. And I want to make sure everyone who's watching feels empowered enough to feel like, if you're not getting what you need, maybe that's a call for you, maybe from God. Not maybe God is calling you, right, to go do your own thing. So I do want to thank you guys so much for watching today's episode. You guys, thanks for joining. Thanks for the comment. All of my top commenters, Cynthia, Linda, Steven, Candice, Uche, you guys are just so amazing. Wangala, I appreciate you guys so much for watching. And I want to give a special thank you to my co-hosts, HK and Nettie. You guys are going to come back again, right? We're going to do this often. Share hot topics. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed being here, and I appreciate the invite.
Let's do this again. Let's make it consistent. Let's think about hot topics. Let's come with fire, even more fire. This is the first time I'm doing this. I'm super excited to implement this going forward. I love you guys so much. Thank you. And when I end the live, you guys remain, okay? Don't leave. I'm gonna end the live, but don't leave. And so to everyone watching, thank you again. You're watching Conversations with Nia every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Central Time. For guest appearances, for sponsorship, to get connected for ads, email niablackstudios@gmail.com. Make sure you subscribe, okay? Subscribe to Nia Black Studios. Turn on your notifications so you can know when I go live again. I thank you guys so much for being on this journey with me. Let's keep going. Take care, guys. I'm going to end the live. Bye.
All right, bye, guys.